Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Today my presentation about Visual Studio. Myself, Abdullah Arijo, roll number 2K70 LCS 49 from Sindh University, Ladkana campus. Today my course, course outline Introduction to Visual Studio. What is DDL file? What is thread, clients and servers? Introduction to Visual Studio. Visual Studio is an integrated development environment IDE developed by Microsoft to develop GUI graphical user interface, console web application, web apps, mobile apps, cloud and web service, etc. which help the With help of this IDE, you can create, manage code as well as native code. It uses the various platform of Microsoft software development, software like Windows Store, Microsoft Silverlight, and Windows IP API, etc. It is not language specific IDE, as you can use this to write code in C++, VB, Visual Basic, Python, JavaScript, and many more languages. It provides support for 330, uh, 36 different programming languages. It is available for Windows as well as for Microsoft. Evolution of Visual Studio. Evolution of Visual Studio. The first version of Visual Studio was released in 1997. Named as Visual Studio 97, having version number 5.0. The latest version of Visual Studio is 50.0, which was released on March 7, 2017. It is also termed as Visual Studio 2017. The supported version in the latest version Studio is 3.5 to 4.7. Java was supported in old versions of Visual Studio, but in the latest version doesn't provide any support for Java language. What is DLL file? Stand for Dynamic Link Library. A dynamic link library DLL is a collection of small programs which can be called upon when needed but by the executable program exe that is running the DLL lets the executable communicate with a specific device such as a printer or many content source code to the particular functions. Example. An example would be if the program exe needs to get the free space of your hard drive. It can be called the DLL file that contains the function with the parameters. A call function the DLL will then tell the executable the free space. This allows the executable to be smaller in a size but not have to write the function that already exists. This allows any program the information about the free space without having to write the source code. It saves space of on your hard drive as well. When a DLL is used in the fashion are also known as shared file. What is thread? In a computer science, a thread is the smallest unit of processing that can be scheduled by an operating system. It generally result from a fork of a computer program. The implementation of threads and process differs from one's presenting system to another, but in most cases, a thread is contained inside a process. Multiple threads can be accessed within the same process and share resources such as memory, while different processes do not share any resource. Co- Considers example of word processing application iWorld, MS Word is process and spell checker within thread and a memory they share as Word documents. Thread in C plus thread in C. A thread is an independent stream and institution in the program. All your C programs up to this point have one entry point, the main method. Execution starts with the first statement in the main method and contains unit the method run. The program structure is all vary for programs in which there is one indictable sequence of tasks. With thread class you can create and control threads. Types of threads. There are two types of thread. Foreground thread, background thread. Foreground thread, the process of application keeps running as long as at least one foreground thread is running. Even if main method and the process of application remain active until all foreground threads finish their work. A thread you can create with thread class by default is a foreground thread. Background thread. When you create a thread with the thread class, you can define whether it should be a foreground or background thread by setting the property is background. Background threads are very useful for background tasks. For example, when you close the word application, it doesn't make sense for a spell checker to keep its process running. The spell checker thread can be killed when the application is closed background thread. However, thread organization, the Outlook message store should re- remain active until it's finished. Even it look as closed for foreground thread. Client and servers. A network architecture in which each computer process on the network is either a client or a server. Client's application that run on computer rely on server for files device processing power. Example, email client, an application that enable you can send and receive emails. Servers, computers are processing that manage network resources, disk, device, file server, printer, server, network traffic, network service. Example, database service server, a computer system that processes database queries. Thank you.